All right, guys, welcome to the first official episode of Food Fitness Family with myself and Thriving Lives Fitness. Marcus, how you doing today?
Doing awesome, man. It's a
Good.
Saturday.
Oh man, it's a great day out, beautiful too. Well, let's a little bit in this podcast, as the name entails, we're going to cover all things food, fitness, family. Marcus and I, those are like our big three pillars that we truly believe in. Three things that are very important to us. So we thought we would be fitting to name the podcast that. So let's kind of get started, man. How's your last week been? How your last 7 days?
Last week has been solid. Little bit of stress just from work. We kind of spoke about this earlier today, actually. Just I'm also an elementary school PE teacher on top of my coaching business as well. So just really long days this past week. So that's been kind of weighing on me a little heavier. But after talking to my wife about it and talking to you about it, I kind of worked through that. But good though. Business is going great. I think I added 3 new clients this week, couple paid in fulls for the next 6 months. So that was good.
Nice.
Um,
Do you love and also hate paid in fulls at the same time?
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
recurring, but at the same time, I love the commitment when a client is
Yeah.
like ready, like they understand that this is a long-term game and not a short-term one.
No, 100%.
So I always like that. I usually get a pretty good response from those clients as well. But no, that's all good. Training's going good. Reverse dieting. We did my show 2 weeks ago, and then ever since then we've been reverse dieting, and weight is staying really steady, about a pound up, I think, from stage weight. Looking like I'm holding a little bit of water, but obviously with a couple of cheats here and there, that's to be expected.
Yeah, you look full as hell, man. Like you look massive.
Appreciate it. Everything else feels great, but that little bit of water weight goes straight to my lower belly. And every time I'm like, oh, I looked my best 2 weeks ago, and then it's just tough. You know that.
Yeah, it's mentally hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But no, aside from that, all good stuff. We got a date night planned tonight with my wife, Nicole. But how about yourself, brother? How was your last?
Yeah, man, kind of right there with you. It's been pretty stressful. I mean, most of you guys know, some of you who don't, I also own a gym with my wife. And this week we switched over to new software systems. So new lock, new everything. It's very user friendly. But with more technology comes more problems. Unfortunately, our credit card companies are not looking to be switching over data like they were supposed to be. So we're looking at having to recollect 435 people's payment information. So just trying to play damage control, with that. Other than that though, man, I signed up one client, scheduled another consultation, had a good week with the clients I had. And then, I'm on the opposite end of you. I'm coming down for my show in 2 weeks. So mentally and physically struggling a little bit. I already got an hour cardio down today. I gotta go knock out another hour here probably after this, and just go from there, man, and finish the week strong. And then, as you know, you're coming over. We got about 6 to 8 people coming over tomorrow for the game, and just gonna hang out, bro out, and then while the girls eat charcuterie and wine, and we sit there and eat chicken and rice. So
yeah, that's that normal lunch meal. I think I've had that same meal for a decade now.
Yeah, it's just easy, man. It's
so easy.
I like having consistency. You know what I mean? It gives me a peace of mind. So
definitely.
Yeah.
This is probably my first Chiefs game watching it with somebody cheering for the other team directly.
Really?
Oh yeah. Besides my buddy John, who's a big Raiders fan, but aside from that though, yeah. I tend to stay only with Chiefs fans or by myself for Chiefs games.
It makes it more fun because you have someone to directly talk shit to.
Yes.
Whether it's good or bad, but I don't expect a lot. The Colts have not given me much hope this year. So, but you know what? It's happened before. So
yeah, it definitely has. I'm confident in the Chiefs, but they can do whatever.
I was at the game in 2019 when we beat you guys with Jacoby Brissett, and people were like, "We're gonna beat your ass," and I was like, "Yeah, you are. I'm just here to have a good time."
Yeah,
and then we won. So cool. Yeah. So this first, episode, we kind of just want to get into, what brought Marcus and I to fitness, why we developed a passion for it, and kind of what our clientele base is, and what we do now. So Marcus, let you go first, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll kind of start back from. I'll briefly go through childhood really quick and just why fitness is such a big deal to me. So my dad inbred it into me of just being in the gym since I was an infant, carrying me there in a stroller and a little carrier. So I was in daycare as soon as I was old enough to kind of be sitting out on the workout floor, kind of like your son Max does. just getting to see him train or, him play pickup basketball and stuff like that. So just going to the gym was just always a natural part of what we did. And then as soon as I was able to start training myself, probably, 13 years old or so, I would go and generally just do some upper body stuff. Arms was always easy. But yeah, so that always had me into the gym. And then really it wasn't until high school I started taking things a little more serious. One of the biggest turning points actually in terms of at least food wise, because I was always undersized. I'm still undersized. I'm 5'6". I just competed at like 158 or so. I came into high school at like 115, 120 pounds, probably like
were you that small?
Dude, I was small and I was probably 5'4", and I was really waiting for one of those big growth spurts.
Bro,
I never had a growth spurt my entire life. It was always gradual. Like nobody noticed it. I was just a little bit taller essentially.
I think I weighed 130 pounds in 6th grade.
Did you really?
Actually, I know I did because I wrestled 135.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I don't think I hit that probably until, I don't know, sophomore year of high school. But no, yeah. So, started working out in high school. And then really it wasn't until people started noticing, because then I started eating a little bit more food on top of my training, was getting stronger. And then once people started noticing it and giving me compliments, that just fueled my fire with it. And I mean, there's never a bad time to look good and feel good. So that was pretty much when I did that. I played high school baseball, played college baseball. So at first it was the strength to get better at baseball and just get stronger with that. But then, especially once I got into college, I knew that my shelf life in baseball, had a limit. I was only going to be able to play for a couple of years. So I really started taking the bodybuilding approach a lot more serious. And I knew that post baseball, I needed something to be competitive and something to be focused on. And I also didn't really know what I wanted to do for a career either. Coming out of, I played a junior college baseball. And after a couple of knee surgeries, I actually did my very first physique competition in 2015, 9 months after my ACL surgery.
Oh, wow.
Which is
turnaround.
It was, yeah. And I wanted to do classic physique or bodybuilding. I just like that kind of posing a lot more. But obviously, 9 months removed from ACL surgery, my quads were non-existent essentially. But yeah, no. So I did that first show, and then that really was kind of opened the doors up to kind of what led me here. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, man. Completely different route. I was just always fat as a kid, and like I wasn't like morbidly obese, but like I had plenty of extra weight on me. I didn't start working out till high school. I think I remember asking my parents for a weight bench when I was in middle school, and I like used it like once a month. It would just sat in my garage. It was a little too convenient, you know what I mean? I enjoyed going to the gym. My grandfather would take me with him. So I was always I was really into wrestling, strong man. You know what I mean? I loved watching that type of stuff, and I always marveled at how big and muscular these guys were. I thought it was really cool. And then high school, you play football, you're in weightlifting. And I went to high school in Florida, and we actually had powerlifting as a sport. And my high school was really good. My freshman and sophomore year, they won state. And then my junior and senior year, they won state. So I set a goal, to make state. I wanted to qualify. And I got into that, I went all the way. I think I told my coach that my freshman year, I just met him, and he like laughed at me because I think I benched like 110 pounds. And oh man, at that time I had to be 210. You know what I mean? It was not a good look. Ended up making state my senior year. I think I placed somewhere in the top 10. And then my buddy got me into bodybuilding afterwards. And I love the challenge. You know what I mean? I love feeling challenged. But at the same time, I love the feeling of progression. I'm not someone that needs a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation. I kind of like being the underdog, and I kind of like being counted out. And I think that's why I like bodybuilding so much. Yeah. I think it's because like I just don't have good genetics with it. So I think that's why I like it so much, because I'm forced to work so hard at it to even be somewhat decent. You know what I mean?
I love going to look at your progress pictures over the years, just because, like you said, you don't have the genetics for it, just because you're so tall and that's so much muscle mass you have to add on to it. But, and obviously just being, naturally a heavier set dude. Yeah. So then to be able to combine those things and to see that transformation over the course of, the past decade or so of you competing has been awesome to see, because I know that it's hard enough to compete, even if you have the genetics for it. Whereas like me, gaining 2 pounds of muscle, like when I gain 2 pounds of muscle, it's very, very noticeable.
Yeah.
That 2 pounds is very compact. Whereas for you, that's spread out over a huge, massive body. And that's just, it's hard.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think when I think back, my first show was actually 2012, but I try not to count that one because it was so god awful. I was like 190 pounds and probably still like 13% body fat. You know what I mean?
You got to start somewhere, just like this podcast.
Yeah. So I kind of count my first one as like 2014. That's when I like was really taking things seriously. And I think I was like 80 or 82 pounds. And right now I'm 2 weeks out, 8 years later, and I was 231 this morning. So, it hasn't been an easy journey, but it's fun. And that's the thing, man, is I was talking about this morning. Like, I don't think I've had a single prep where I haven't hit 2 hours of cardio. So it's like,
you got to dig deep when you do
to get in shape. I have to like basically kill myself. Yeah. So, and like, you keep that in mind, I'm 230 pounds and I'm only eating like 1,800 calories right now. I'm doing 2 hours of cardio a day. So we got to kind of keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying?
And to show the comparison too, 2 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I was a couple weeks out, we were at 1750 ish calories for me and only doing maybe 30 minutes of cardio a day.
And you were like 160.
Yeah,
so
I was yeah.
So I weigh you by 70 pounds and we basically eat the same amount of food.
Yep. And you're doing about 4 times the amount of cardio that I was doing as well. And really,
actually about 5 times, honestly.
The only reason why we even had to dig that deep on me was just because of the circumstances of when I started prep, which we can reserve that for another time to kind of dive into that. Cause I think that was kind of a fun journey and a good challenge, but so that you gotta take that.
I've been prepping too. I think I've done like a 30-week prep and I've had a cheat meal since Memorial Day. So it's been a while. So let's get back, man. So you got into fitness, you got into it afterwards. And then how'd you get into coaching? What led you down that hole?
Well, one more thing,
but you know what I mean?
One more thing to add on to, my why into why I even got into fitness in the first place. Cause I think this should speak to some people. Cause I know that this was to me, just lacking that confidence, being 5'6", being 120 from, always just undersized. Nobody ever turns their heads. Like if I was 6'2" and I walk in a room, you notice that person. If I was 5'6" and 200 pounds, you notice that person. So that I was always just unnoticed in that way. And then on top of that, I got a quiet, shy personality as well. So there was really nothing that was a big wow factor. And so I loved watching, getting bodybuilding magazines and watching, bodybuilding videos and stuff, because I loved those physiques. And I was like, when I walk in the room looking like that, that's going to turn some heads. My height's never going to be there. I might not be able to put on 200 pounds, of muscle mass, but I'm going to be able to turn some heads at some point. So that was kind of where it started for me. And again, once I get the validation of getting people to recognize that progress, it just fueled my fire. But in terms of what you just said, how we got into coaching. So for me, what really stemmed it was a couple of things. One, I had a buddy that lived across the street from me. He was one of my best friends growing up, and he'd always struggle being heavier as well. This was early college. This was probably like 2012. I would always, do research and just try to learn as much as I could just about bodybuilding, because I knew I was going to eventually go into it. And so I found, carb cycling, and I was like, hey, let me put together a diet plan for you and try this carb cycling approach. And the dude shredded up. He lost like 30 pounds over the course of like 3 months and just looked great. So that was really awesome to be able to see. And that was just a fun one. I had no intention of ever actually doing that with people. And
talk about like the perfect first client that came around. They just dropped that quick.
I was like, wow,
I'm great at this.
Yeah. So and granted, we were 19 years old at the time. So like, of course his body responded well. But no, so that was cool to see. But then really what it was my first show in 2015, which is the same time I started dating Nicole, who's now my wife. I did that show. I won novice. I got second in open and physique, again, to a taller guy with about 20 more pounds of muscle on him. So that was just the first little knock at it. But then that following year, Nicole and I did a photo shoot together, and I had a bunch of people reaching out to me for coaching. And I was like, I'm not experienced enough. I've done one show. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff. And Nicole's like, just try it. Just do it, whatever. And I had no income at the time going to Northwest Missouri State. I was just a student up there. So I was like, okay, cool. I could use some date money. She was working full time at the time back in Kansas City. I was like, I want to be able to pay for some dinners out every now and then. So yeah, I'll go ahead and start this. And then it was quick, man. I did a couple different little challenges, 8-week programs, stuff like that. And it really got the ball rolling. And again, at that time I was like, hey, this is just this little side thing. I don't see this going very, very far. It's just fun to do while I'm in college. And things continue to grow and grow. I got more and more clients, all referral based. Just, one client would have a good experience. I'd post about them. They would tell their friends about it. And then my business grew like that. And so flash forward to now, I've also been teaching full-time for about 5 years post-college, and running my business on top of that and just growing that as much as I can. And then over the years, I've just continued to add on to my own education. Us linking up, I've learned a lot from you as well. Working with other coaches as well for my own bodybuilding shows, learning different approaches, taking different courses and certifications. And so it's really allowed me to expand who I'm able to help, because, 4 years ago, before I got a lot of the extensive education, I would get stuck with certain clients and not know where to go with them. Because a lot of the time, and people still think this, it's all calories in versus calories out. It's all, hey, eat less, train more, and you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what
way.
We've all been kind of taught that. And that's just like the general idea of it. And yeah, the perfect body, perfect metabolism, no stress issues, no hormone issues. Yeah, that's going to work.
Maybe like 75% of clients, and the other 25 are like, oh,
yeah.
And got work cut out for us here.
And really, I would say much more, a higher percentage of that now that I'm training.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was a lot of the calories in versus calories out type clients. It would work for them. But now I'm dealing with more and more advanced cases and clients that we've got to look at a lot of the different aspects of their health and their lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you though? How'd you get into coaching?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think back, dude. I started competing. I was training, and then I had a couple of friends that wanted to work out with me. And then I had this girl Tina who she just asked me to prep her, and I was like, I had no business prepping you. Like, I had no idea what I'm doing. She was like, no, I believe in you. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll do it for free then. And I prepped her, and she ended up placing like second, I think, in bikini. Which, I mean, it's not like she had a ton of weight to lose, so it's not like I transformed someone. You know what I mean? And then my sister at the time was like 275, 280. And she was going to be put on blood pressure medication. So she asked me for help. So I wrote her a diet, and back then I was super bro. So you're basically eating like chicken, rice, and broccoli for 5 meals, maybe having like eggs and oats in the morning. You know what I mean? And I remember at one point I put her on like an hour of like cardio where it was like the 2 minutes fast, 3 minutes calm on the stairs, like just destroyed her. Like honestly, I'm really lucky that like she didn't develop a lot of issues.
Yeah. Or just hate dieting, hate fitness in general.
Yeah, hate dieting and fitness. Fast forward, she's now the manager of our gym, works for me full time. But slowly people started wanting more help, so I would help. And my coach at the time, I really looked up to him, and he's still one of my best friends. I would ask him every question imaginable. Mm-hmm. You made a change, why? Mm-hmm. Add this, why?
Yep.
Like
just learning.
I just learned. I just soaked up everything I could, and he saw a lot of me and him. So he was more than obliged. You know what I mean? I would question things, not to say he didn't know what he was doing, but I wanted to know why and what the reasoning was. Mm-hmm. And I slowly started reading a little bit. I'm an awful reader, man. I should do it more. I just can't set myself down to do it. And then I just slowly started taking more and more clients. I was managing restaurants. I got really tired of it. And I just started dating Tatiana at the time, my now wife. And she talked me into quitting and pursuing fitness. So we did. We moved cross country from Florida to Kansas City. And I was getting my certs, and then I just got a job at a box gym training. That's where we met.
Yep.
And
was it Golds at the time, or was it World?
No, it was Worlds. Yeah.
Cool.
I think it'd been Worlds for a couple of years at that point.
Cool.
And that's how I learned how to sell. That's how I learned how to help people. I picked up a reputation for being like the bodybuilding person, even though I didn't look good. You know what I mean? But I was able to help a lot of people, those who can't do coach. So, and I love it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've also had to learn by just kind of being tossed in the fire, like we already said, with your genetics not being primed for bodybuilding, and bodybuilding being such a hard sport, even to somebody who's got the perfect genetics. So you've had to learn, much harder approaches,
Yeah.
which then also probably improves your empathy towards other clients and be able to help them out with all of their issues.
Yeah. Sometimes I could be more empathetic. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I guess it could go the opposite direction. So you're like, do you understand what I
Yeah.
got to do?
Yeah, and so with certain
Yeah,
people, I'm like that. Now, if it's like a
yeah,
severe case, I'm
yeah.
nowhere near like that.
Of
But
course, yeah.
I am extremely resilient. I refuse to lose, and that's kind of ironic because I've basically lost every show I've ever competed in. But what I mean by that is, I've lost. I've only ever beaten someone to win a class one time.
Mm.
Any other time I've won a class, I've been the only person, or I've gotten like last place. You know what I mean? So I've gotten my ass beat for 8 years and I'm still coming back for more. You know what I mean? I get thrown into a fire. I'm not going to lose. Like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to win. And I think that's what I like about coaching, is because it's hard, and you have to be willing to like sacrifice, and you have to be willing to put in the time,
Mm.
because no one's going to do it for you. And I
No,
think
yeah.
that's what drives me to it.
Well, I think that's what I love about bodybuilding too, because I mean, again, if you compare it to like baseball, you can get called out strike three on a call
Yeah.
that's a bad call, and that could change kind of the course of that day to an extent. You take a bad hop at shortstop, and boom, there's an error, and you just lost the game. All that stuff could happen. Obviously, there's a lot of controllables in the sport, but I love bodybuilding because it comes down to what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. Same thing with
Yep.
coaching. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you're not doing the extra education, if you're not working hard to provide the best value for your clients, they're not going to see the benefits. If you lose in a bodybuilding show and you're like, I'm going to go train half-assed, the rest of this year and
Yeah.
not take my nutrition serious in the off season, well, then I'm not going to put on any more muscle coming into that next show.
Not at all, man.
So, I like it because it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You don't just show up a couple days a week or a couple hours here or there. Like, you got to put in the time to really improve that physique, or improve our businesses. Like, we obviously work on.
Well, I think that's why we mesh well, is because at the end of the day, we'll always bet on ourselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to business or whatever, you'll take that risk because you're like, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Because you almost back yourself into that corner to make yourself have no other choice but to make it work.
Yeah, that's very, very true. It's awesome that our now wives are who really pushed us to kind of take that leap to starting our fitness and health businesses. And that's part of the reason why we named this what it is because family is first and foremost for both of us. You've got a son, Max. He's 5 now.
Yeah, he just turned 5 in June. He's massive.
So yeah, I'm excited to see him in the gym over the years. But then for myself, it's just me and my wife Nicole, and then our dog Boss Rottweiler. But hoping to have a kid the next year or two. So already kind of thinking that direction, and just always finding that balance. I think that's one of the biggest things I strive for in life, and try to help my clients achieve as well, is just find a good balance between your wants and needs, a good balance of work life, family life, social life, traveling or staying home and just chilling. Balance is very, very key, and it's very easy to get unbalanced.
Well, I mean, if you want to be good at something, it's hard to be balanced.
It
you
is.
know what I mean?
Especially bodybuilding, because it is a 24/7 sport. So I think that, us doing bodybuilding has really given us a discipline that other sports and just other areas of life, you can't really get that like you do with bodybuilding. And then it allows us to transfer it over in every other.
Dude, 100%. It's taught me so much. And, I would say it's given me the life I have now, with owning the gym and things like that and my coaching, but it helps me go through rough patches, like financially or whatever it may have been in the past. Because you're already used to going without, you're used to suffering physically. So when something happens in your life, you're just like, all right, well, we'll just keep rolling, because that's really all you can do.
Adapt, be flexible, and, figure out plan B if you need to, or just roll with the punches.
For sure.
Definitely. Well, I mean, so, we're both bodybuilders, but that's not necessarily the only people that we train. In fact, I train 0 bodybuilders, 0 competitors. I have done show preps before for people, but that's just not my forte. It's not something that, number one, I don't feel educated enough to get somebody 5% body fat on stage, looking their absolute, peeled best. I think part of that is too, is like, I know, like for you, you've had to go to 2 hours of cardio. You've had to deplete yourself of all carbs and fats and everything else to get show ready. Whereas I had never done that. So when I've done, when I've done comp preps for people, I don't want to.
You're gonna feel awful giving someone an hour of cardio.
I'm like, I'm killing this person. Like, I never had to do that. So, even though that might be what they need to get show ready, I never maybe even had the courage to tell them, hey, go do this. And that's also because I want to err on the side of caution, especially when we're dealing with this stuff. Especially when it's females in general as well with this stuff, is that that's even a harder sport in a lot of ways, because it's so hard mentally and physically and everything else, and hormonally. So I want to, always keep that in check, and I'd rather err on the side of caution with that. So, part of that, and just, it was high stress for me to coach those people. Maybe it's because my lack of experience. But so no, who my personal clients are that I train is generally, there's some outliers, of course, but it's the 35 to 55-year-old person needing to make healthy lifestyle changes, generally for their family. They want to improve their longevity, their quality of life. It's somebody who maybe used to be in shape, but they've been out of shape for 10 years because life catches up, family catches up. We get busy with work, and we put ourselves and our health on the back burner for so many years. And then it's like, what the hell happened? And so that's generally who I work with, is that 35 to 55-year-old person who's just, needing to make some lifestyle changes.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I would say right now my demographic is probably mainly 20 to 30 years old. Majority of them, I would say like 70% of people, they either do step on stage or they would like to step on stage. And maybe they never will. You know what I mean? I think it's important for, I have people all the time, I want to do a show. Okay, well, what's your diet like? Oh, I don't have a diet. Okay, well, how about we start here? How about we go 6 months to a year of living the lifestyle, and then we decide that we want to do a show, because competing is not for everyone. And I try to be real open and honest about that. I don't try to talk them out of it, but like, I try to tell them how it is.
Be
you
real
know what I mean? I like to be straight up with people and be real. But with that, I would say probably the other 30% of my people are just your gen pop. They just want to look better. They want to lose weight. They want to gain that confidence back. And then also functional health. So hormones, gut health. I get a ton of gut health cases, bloating, fatigue, adrenal issues, people who are kind of just, they're at wit's end, and they've been to like 4 different people, and they do their HIIT classes and they eat at 800 calories and they're gaining weight. And I'm telling them, it's great to work with these people, because you're telling them their struggles without them telling you and how they're feeling. And they're like lighting up, like, oh my God, someone actually
understands.
Like, I think this person can actually understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because they've worked with a trainer at Planet or any box gym. And they're like, oh, just go walk more, just eat less.
Yep.
And it's, like we talked, it's not that simple.
No, it's not.
And I do, like I said, I coach a lot of competitors, but I love helping people get on stage, but I also love helping people regain their life back, and gain their confidence. It's a toss up, man. I truly love both. And like, I get hype about both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's amazing to see somebody's life change, like literally their life change.
Yeah.
And I'm always so appreciative when people sign up in the first place, just because I get to be a part of their life journey with this stuff. And ideally, I'm who helps kind of catalyst them in the right direction with it.
Yep.
Then I get to check in on them a year down the road, or 2 years or 5 years down the road, and see that not only are they still looking great and feeling great, but like their habits are all in check. And I know that I help them get there, and there's no better feeling than that. And just seeing them go on and maintain that kind of lifestyle. That's always great.
Yeah. I think we both kind of have the same thoughts here, where, I tell people all the time, hiring a trainer is a lot like going to college. You don't go to college and pay the money not to learn anything. And if you're not learning from me, there's an issue.
Yep.
Because it's okay to ask questions. I try to explain things the best I can. And, sometimes I am short with my response, and it's nothing personal. But you should be actively learning new things.
Oh, definitely.
So,
well, and like you said, when you're paying a coach, you're paying it to learn something. So I say that 20 different times on my consult calls is, number one, you got to communicate with me. I got to know what's going on in your life. And I got to know if you're struggling on something, I don't need a one word reply to that. I need you to elaborate on it.
Yeah. This is a relationship. We're literally dating.
Exactly.
I need you to be open and honest and tell me what exactly is happening.
Communication is the foundation of any successful relationship whatsoever. And I explicitly say that is that like, I need that from you. And if you can give me that, then we can overcome whatever. It might take us a while to overcome something, but we can overcome it with that good communication, just like you would in a relationship. But on top of that, lost train of thought. That's going to happen a decent amount on this podcast.
Yeah, especially
I had something else I wanted to say.
My next 6 weeks, it'll happen to me.
You're going to struggle a little bit mentally. I'm excited to see that you're going to be the one losing your train of thought.
Dude, it happens all the time. I fell asleep in the car earlier. I fell asleep on the couch last night. Like, I'm just out of it.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Only a few more weeks. So, and then what's your next show after that?
I go to OKC October 29th.
So that's 4 weeks after this.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then I'm supposed to do All Stars.
The week after that,
I probably will. I say it's up in the air. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna do it. It just
especially because it's here in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, it's here in Kansas City. But I also have like 5 people that jumped in it with me. The gym is sponsoring the show, so we're gonna have a booth.
You may as well compete, especially because it's only a week later.
I might as well. You know what I mean? But like, if I'm real stressed out with work and you know what I mean, and I feel like I need to be at the booth or attend to my clients, then I won't. You know what I mean? I may not even sign up to the show until registration. At weigh-in. So
the deadline. That makes sense. I'm excited to see you crush it the next few weeks leading into this first show.
Yeah, I know it'll go good. So, well, man, I think that's about good for our first one.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Where can they hook you up on all your socials and stuff like that if they want to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so Thriving Lives Fitness is where I'm most active at, that and Facebook. So on Instagram, it's just Thriving Lives Fitness, just all one word. And then Facebook, I've got a business page, Thriving Lives Fitness again, and then my personal page is where I'm more active on versus the business page, and that's just Marcus Gates. I've also got a Facebook community on there as well that I just recently, it used to be private, now I open it up, and that's where I share all of our Zoom calls that I do with all of my clients on Wednesday nights, and pretty much any other information that just pertains to what it is we're doing, our lifestyle changes, stuff like that. So those 2 places in the Facebook group, that's about it. I mean, I'm on TikTok and LinkedIn, but
you got a TikTok?
I do have a TikTok. I generally just copy my Instagram reels and post it on there. Not a huge fan of TikTok. I don't spend any time on there, and that probably hurts my videos whenever I actually do post on them, because I see a lot better response on Instagram because I'm on there a whole lot more. That's
what's up. Yeah. So you can find me. Yeah. Instagram is my main one. It's Blankslate Fitness _91. I don't want to say I'm very active on there. I need to be. Actually, Marcus has helped me a lot on my Instagram game. So I keep going. I get caught up in the day, and then I forget. Our gym is at Body Shop Gym and Training. Anytime you have a question, anything like that, feel free to DM me. I try to help as many people as I can, whether it be blood work, a macro question. I really don't care. Just let me know. And then if you are interested in setting up a free consultation, I have a link in my bio. You can hit that and we'll go from there.
I've got that too in my Instagram.
So, all right, broski.
And then also, I mean, I know you just mentioned it, but just Body Shop Gym. Caleb and Tatiana, his wife, own Body Shop Gym in Overland Park. I also train out of there as well, both myself, but also my clients as well.
We're both taking new clients, in-person clients, if you're interested in that route too. We're right off 69 to 103rd Street, 24 hours. So it really is a one-of-a-kind atmosphere.
It really is. Like when people say that, it's usually like, it's just it's the same thing as the next thing. This is not. This gym is definitely the community. I mean, I've been in a lot of gyms all over Kansas City, all over every new city I go to, and it's by far got the best atmosphere. I mean, it's 24/7 gym, which is awesome. I mean, every machine you could ask for.
Yeah, I mean, equipment, but honestly, man, the people, our staff is great.
Mm-hmm.
We're a family, you know what I mean? So like we truly love it. Like when people join the gym, we say welcome to the family, not welcome to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want to be, we want Chick-fil-A's customer service, but fitness related. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And while it's a bodybuilding style gym, it's fit for everybody. And I got to say, compared to other bodybuilding style gyms, there's no egos in there. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed. And there's no negative competition or negative egos that are parading around the gym like you see at a lot of other gyms.
100%, except for when Marcus is shirtless.
Yes, except for that.
Making his real stepping on his t-shirts.
Yes. But I generally try to do that early morning.
No, that was good, man. I like that. At first I was like, wow, he really screwed up that transition because he dropped it and nothing happened. And then I was like, okay, I got it.
Oh, I got you. Well, awesome. Well, everybody, happy Saturday. We appreciate
happy
you guys.
Saturday. Go Colts, and we'll talk soon, guys.
Yeah. This is one of hopefully a lot of podcasts.
We'll do. We want to start dropping these weekly, so you guys be on the lookout. We got a whole. I think we've written down like 40 episodes that we want to go over. Eventually we'll have guests and stuff on. But if you guys have questions, topics you want covered, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, please do, guys. All right, man.
Awesome.
Well, have a good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, man. Bye.